Don't you think? Well, as we begin to think about this morning's reading out of the Gospel of John, I would like to refresh what the overall purpose is of these stories that we read from the Holy Scripture week after week, and for some of us, actually day after day. These stories are small glimpses of how we as humans have recognized and understood God revealing himself to humanity. For those of us who refer ourselves to Christians, we can see within the gospel stories God being revealed through the person called Jesus of Nazareth. The birth of Jesus is one of those stories of God being revealed into human form. Last week we saw God being revealed in the person of Jesus once again by the Spirit of God coming down from heaven in the form of a dove. And this morning we read again how God continues to reveal in Jesus as John the Baptizer, upon seeing Jesus passing by, announces Jesus as the Lamb of Passover. Now, I want to let you know that this is a very subtle distinction because a lot of scripture translations will say the Lamb of God. I like the idea of the Lamb of Passover because the Lamb of Passover was not a sacrificial lamb for sins. It was a sacrificial sacrifice to recognize the life-giving power that God has and leading the people of Israel out of captivity. Believing in John's witness, two of John's disciples drop off from what they were doing and they start to follow Jesus. Realizing that he was being followed, Jesus looks over his head and says, "What do you want?" They answer Jesus his question with another question. And they're saying, where are you staying? And Jesus responds with an invitation. He invited them and said, "Come and you will see." It is this scene that we just saw being played out that I want us to consider this morning. Put ourselves in the place of the two disciples. Okay, so mentally put on your, okay, now I'm one of the disciples. We can assume that we are devoted to learn about God. We have been willing to commit ourselves to study and to serve a person that we recognize as a holy man, John the Baptizer. And we recognize him to be knowledgeable about spiritual things. We are anticipating God's arrival being really soon. We now learn that through our teacher that God has arrived and is actually walking right in front of us. So we seize the opportunity and we leave our poor teacher behind and begin to walk toward the one sent by God. Isn't this marvelous, Andrew? Now we get to ask all of these important questions that we've been wanting to ask for our entire life. Questions like, how many stars are there up in the heavens? Is there life on other planets? And if there is life on other planets, do those people or those beings sin just like we do? And if they're sinning, then does that mean Jesus has to go back and be crucified there as well? And then, of course, the ultimate question that has plagued humankind forever. Why does vanilla extract smell so good, taste so nasty, and yet make a cake taste so delicious? Then when Jesus asks us, what do we want? The best we can come up with is, where do you live? How lame of a question can that be? And he doesn't even give us an address. He just says, well, why don't you come over and see? Check it out. Look for yourselves. We all have a public image. The way that we present ourselves in public, by the way that we dress, the way in which we speak, in the way that we treat others, all this is our public image. But does that give a full picture of who we truly are? What we really think? What we most value in our lives? Have you ever wondered, Beverly, is Cary Grant really as suave and sophisticated as he comes off in the movies?
Cary who?
Was Humphrey Bogart really as emotionally detached to women that he loved on the screen? Does Emma Stone really break out in song and dance on the middle of Sunset Boulevard? I know I would, because that's a part of who I am. I've embarrassed Paul many a time by walking down the street, and I warned him prior to us first starting to date that there are times, to me, life is a musical, and there are times I walk down the street and just break out in song and dance. Just ask him. If we wish to learn about a person, going to their home is the most revealing experience you can ever have. Where we live reveals our personal value systems. Starting with where our home is located. Do we live in a gated community? Which speaks beyond just our concern for safety. It talks about whether we're open or closed. The accessibility at a personal level. Or do we live in a neighborhood where just anybody can drive through? Our homes reveal how we value learning through the books that we have, the games that we have, even the electronics that we have in the house. Our homes display our values of structure, of order, and continuity. These are our core values. So the disciples really were not far off in asking Jesus, where do you live? Jesus understood that. These men wanted to learn more about him. So he invited them to his own space, because they would learn more about who he was than him spending all day long just telling them. We've been going through these past 4 months a process of trying to understand what our core values are, what we value, and how we want to share what we have with others, as well as those that are here presently. Do we want newcomers who look just like us? These are some of the questions we explored. Are we open to change that comes with new ideas? How comfortable are we with differing values and understandings? Do we really believe that we have something special to share with the larger community? Do we really, really believe we have something special here that would prompt us to go out and share with the larger community? We have now come to a stage of taking all of these discussions, our self-examination and our formulations for the future, and are beginning to implement them now, to act upon what we have verbalized and envisioned. One of those strategies is going to occur over the next 4 or 5 months, that of inviting a person to worship. A person or a family who doesn't actively attend another faith community, folks. You're being asked to invite somebody who doesn't go to church anymore. We call ourselves a community of faith. A faith that we say is based and focused in God. We meet and we work out of this specific building. If God is our heart, this building then is our frame. It is our visible presence. We can tell strangers till we're blue in the face about how the Port Orange UCC, we believe in God's love and mercy and acceptance, but it will only be words until they come and they see where we live. It is in this building, as we gather, that they will see if we are inclusive, if we are a forgiving people, if we are concerned about others, if we are spiritual. It is seeing where we live as a faith community that they will learn whether we are consistent with who we say we are and what we truly believe. So what would a visitor see if they came on that second Sunday this February? Would they experience warmth and acceptance? Would a visitor sense that the Spirit of God is in this place? Or are we just more interested in a doctrinal type of religion? Well, in all honesty, only a visitor will be able to tell us. And that's not always easy to get out of them, is it? And yet, as your interim pastor, who is in many ways a visitor in this faith community, I can share with you what I have seen, experienced, and have learned about you. You want me to share it?
Yes.
Are you sure you want me to share it? I find, as a community, you are very serious about spiritual growth. As a faith community, there is a deep desire and commitment to share what you have with people who are struggling financially, emotionally, and physically. You take serious the idea that God is love, that each person is precious in God's sight, and as such, you see each person as a gift. There is a strong reliance on prayer for healing of spiritual, emotional, and physical needs. You welcome into your presence newcomers as if they are old friends. I have experienced you as a people believing that God is still speaking and that you are living in anticipation of marvelous things yet to come. And this isn't poppycock, but I'm being nice about it. This is who you are. This is your core value. This is the good news that you have to share with people who don't know about us. It should be an honor. And it should be something that you would want to do naturally, to invite somebody to come and experience all of this wonderful stuff that goes on. When we invite someone to come and see where we live spiritually, these are some of the things that our guests will see. They will see that this is a safe place where they can come and to grow in their own spirituality, in their own way, and at their own pace. Let us be busy inviting people to come and see where we live and to experience a a living